Hi everyone, back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the aftermath. This is the show we do when the dust has settled from the instant post-match reaction to Newcastle's last game, which happened to be a 2-2 draw in the Champions League against Bayer Leverkusen. You had Mark on post-match duties. He did a great job. Hope you give him some love and like that video. But Chris is back with you here. That's me, I'm Chris. I'm very hungover. I went to my Christmas do last night. Lots of lager consumed. A pretty average meal, it must be said, but lots of beer consumed nonetheless. But I did watch the game. I had it on my phone as we were using the bar tab up, and I watched that game. I was disappointed with, again, how Newcastle managed that game, with a lack of in-game management. Just, we can't seem to hang on to a lead. I don't know what it is. It's mentality of players. Is it the manager? I don't know what it is, but we can't seem to manage a lead. This team can go ahead. It has the ability to go ahead. You know, we hit the post twice in that game. We could have won 3-1, 4-1. You know, we were pressing for the other goals, but we just can't seem to hang on to a lead, and I don't understand what's going on. You know, you talk about mentality, talk about young players, but you know, it was the young players who actually saved the day for Newcastle. So I'll get onto this right now. No surprise to any of you. As you all know, I'm the vice president of the Lewis Miley fan club. I thought Lewis Miley changed the game when he came on for Newcastle last night. You know, Joe Linton's been poor for so long. You know, people saying he was anonymous, and Mark said he was anonymous. He's been anonymous for months, man. You know, Lewis Miley is such a better player right now. He offers so much more to this Newcastle team. The lad has grown into be a really, really good midfielder, and he should start at Derby. I'm going to say it right now. I'll do my preview video for that in the next day or so, but he should start the game. He's a much better player than Joe Linton is right now. You know, Joe Linton's physicality and his strength and all the stuff that he brings, it just seems to be lacking so much now, and he's so poor on the ball. He gives the ball away way too much. And Lewis Miley is so much better on the ball at 19 years old, and he's got to start games, and not only is he good on the ball and keeps us ticking and moving as a team, but he's now getting goals as well. It was a great header that he put away, a great cross from Lewis Hall, who I thought was brilliant in the second half as well. And those kind of young, exciting players are the future of Newcastle, but they might very well be the present, because Joe Linton was poor. Tonali, he's very poor. He's been poor for a good few weeks now, and you know, I think ever since them comments, weirdly enough, he just hasn't seemed to be the same Tonali. You know, the comments about will he leave or will he stay in the future and all that, doesn't seem to be the same Tonali, but he certainly hasn't looked right since his illness. But he's probably going to have to start on Sunday with Bruno Guimaraes and Lewis Miley for me, if we've got a chance to win that game. But you know, we do well to get in front of the game. You know, it's a great penalty by Gordon, tucks it away really well. Good header by Lewis Miley, but the equaliser is so poor. You know, Grimaldo just runs past players, and we don't track the runners, we don't deal with the problems, and that's Newcastle's reoccurring theme this season, is we just don't deal with problems, with threats. We let people run by us, we give the ball away, we give chances to the opposition, and you can't do that if you want to be a Champions League team that qualifies to the knockout stages. You can't be that if you want to be a top 5 Premier League team. You just can't be it. And Newcastle, all of that team, every week, every game, and it's so frustrating, you know. And people can blame the manager, people can blame Aaron Ramsdale. You know, could he have done better for the first goal? But again, you know, Tonali's probably at fault for both of the goals. And you know, and he's such a good player for us, and has been such a good player for us, but he looks way off it right now. And we need a big performance from the Italian stallion against Sunderland the weekend. We need a huge performance for that, because he's not delivering right now. You know, Bruno Guimaraes is, you know, he's dragging us through games. Lewis Miley's influencing games. Joe Linton, anonymous, shouldn't be anywhere near the starting line, in my opinion. And you know, Tonali needs to up his game big time if he wants to you know, to be the player that we know he can be. But you know, this game on Sunday is huge. You know, was a draw the end of the world? No, it wasn't in the Champions League. You know, we still got a chance to qualify, but we have to win on Sunday. If we don't win on Sunday, it isn't just bragging rights. It's the season stalling. It's the season stuttering. You know, the season's at a concertina right now. The league table is so tight. One win can get you 5th. One defeat can make you 14th. And Newcastle have to get themselves in a position where they can be in and around the Champions League positions, you know, by the turn of the year, because to be in those positions gives you a chance to finish in those positions. The further we slip, the less chance we have, because that league will break away very soon, and you won't be able to claw those points back that you've dropped at places like Leeds and teams like that. And no disrespect to Leeds, you know, Leeds are a club that's very close to my heart, but Newcastle should have won that game. We should have beat Villa. So many games Newcastle should have won, should have drawn against Arsenal, should have drawn against Liverpool. We're dropping so many points, and if you want to finish in the top 5, you can't afford to do that as a team, and that's what Newcastle have done way too much this season. But sadly, that seems to have crept into the Champions League now, which previously we haven't done. We've managed games well, we've got good results, but there's a real issue with in-game management with this squad right now, and they have to do something about it. You know, the manager can tell them and prep them and you know, advise them as much as he wants, but it's the players. The players have got to get their heads straight. They've got to learn how to manage games better, because that game last night was a win. It was a 2-1 win. Get in front, manage the game, and they couldn't do it. You know, they let the guy run past them and score the equaliser, and it happens every week in the Premier League as well. We nearly threw the Burnley game away because of this, and the team just has to be better. If you want to be a Champions League team, you want to be a top 5 team, manage games better than that. And they're just not doing that. I don't blame the manager for that. I blame the players. And the players need to get their finger out their arse. But Sunday is way bigger than last night was. We need to get that result. We need to beat the Mackhams, not just for the bragging rights of the city, but to get the Premier League season up and running, get a morale boosting, confidence boosting performance. Louis Miley's got to start, in my opinion. He's the best midfielder alongside Bruno Guimaraes in the midfield squad. He really is. Has to start that game. But huge game on Sunday. I'm going to be back for the preview in the next couple of days. I'll get myself back to Newcastle from London, where I'm sitting right now. By the way, that pub in the background was great. The Ramblers Rest, if you're ever in Chislehurst, great pub for sport. Getting there for a pint. Nice people as well. But I'm going to get back to Newcastle. I'm going to get back behind the mic for the preview. I'll be there live, post-match reaction. Tune in. Let me know what you think. Hopefully Newcastle can do the business in the stadium, because the Mackhams are bang up for this. You know, they've got a high energetic team. They never say die. They'll be right up for this game. All their players are going to go to the African Cup of Nations after this. They want to leave on a high note. It's a tough game for Newcastle. These players have got to show more mentality, more strength, and show up for that game. But like and subscribe, guys. Keep it ever more. I'll be back soon. Have a belter. See you later.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.